Hello, I'm Anthony. I'm here with Priyanka, and we are going just to talk about things and such about her. And again, my name's Anthony Pearson, and my social medias, if you want to follow me, is AJ Golden Wings. And I'll let you talk a little about yourself here.
Hi everyone, I'm Priyanka. I'm super excited to be on Anthony's channel today. If you'd like to follow me, my Instagram handle is priyanka.lc. I'm looking forward to this interview.
So yeah, talk about your hair again, and we'll re-encapsulate that instance again.
Okay.
But yeah, we're here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and this is kind of where I grew up, kind of south of here. So this is the downtown city, and we're by the Mill Flower Museum, Mill City Museum, and that is behind you, Anil. As you can see, there's the river, there's a dam over there. But yeah, right now it's decently warm. For me it's really warm, but for you it's probably really cold since you're from Nepal, right? It's a much warmer location.
Yeah, I'm getting used to the cold here, but yeah, it's definitely not this cold in Nepal.
What city are you from in Nepal?
I'm from the capital city, Kathmandu, which is also known as, I don't want to say Kathmandu, then they'll say I did American accent. Okay, I am originally from Kathmandu, which is in Nepal. It's a capital city of Nepal, also known as City of Temples.
City of Temples.
Yes.
How interesting. So tell me more about the temples.
So Nepal is a religious country. It has a lot of temples. It is known for a lot of its temples. We have Pashupatinath, Swayambhunath, which is also known as Monkey Temple, and there are various other temples.
Okay, for those who do not know what or where Nepal is, where is Nepal?
Nepal, it's located in South Asia, between India and China.
Okay, so it's that little thing in between,
India
little
and China.
country in between both China and India.
That's correct.
Interesting. So that's the country of where Everest is. Am I correct?
Yes, it's a home of Everest, and 8 out of 10 tallest mountains in the world is located in
10.
Nepal. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Wow. Have you ever climbed any of the mountains?
Oh no, I was too young, so no. But that's definitely on the bucket list.
Bucket list.
Yep.
I hear it's a lot of people are having that as a big tourist destination, and I would think that would be pretty fun to do myself, but the amount of danger, I wouldn't want to risk my life to do that. But you might be more
with the mountains?
Yeah, the mountains.
With the proper training, I think you'll be fine.
So in your city, what types of activities do you or just people do there?
It's really famous for, what is it famous for? Anil, Kathmandu. It's famous for street foods. Like growing up, I really enjoyed street foods. There are a lot of, like I said, a lot of temples, so visiting those temples, and it's culturally very rich, so there is always something to do. So my favorite thing growing up was trying new foods, especially the street foods.
Is that something that you and your family would do?
Me and my friends, and yeah, my families too.
Yeah, and you can also talk about that there are a lot of cultural heritage sites.
Yeah, there are, okay.
So, okay, tell me more about that.
So there are a lot of cultural heritage sites, like Bhaktapur Darbar Square, Kathmandu Darbar Square. So these are these old buildings made by the ancient dynasty. So, and yeah, it's like very old. Kathmandu is known for its vibe, for its culture, the diversity, and especially for the local street foods was my favorite growing up. in Kathmandu.
All right. Well, so you've grown up and you come here, and you probably noticed that Americans, we like our politics, and a lot of it's charged. But I think a lot of people would want to know what politics in Nepal is like.
Okay.
So,
I
do you
think-
have like the strong divides, or meh?
Here's the
People-
thing. One thing that I have noticed about politics is it's not stable anywhere in the world. So, and that's the similar situation in Nepal too. It's not stable. Plus, it's a small landlocked country of 56,000 square meter. Wait, square miles. Shit.
Shoot. You're fine. No. Continue, please.
Square miles. It is a small country of 56,000 square miles. So, and with 27.8 million population. So it's a small, tiny country, and any decision that is made by the government is directly impacted to the citizens. So it's definitely not stable, but they are working towards it.
So you're not going to be the president or the emperor? Start your own dynasty?
No.
What are like social aspects? How do people talk? People interact? How do you say, hey, let's go out for some food with some friends? And what are the social norms?
People are very friendly, easy to talk to. They really, really care about each other's lives. Like they really want to give opinion and talk about it, get invested in each other's life. Other than that,
It sounds like Minnesota nice.
yes, a lot. And trekking, since Nepal is culturally really naturally, since Nepal is naturally really blessed, trekking is a big thing. So
Trekking?
Trekking, hiking.
Trekking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they usually, the youngsters especially, they usually go for hikings, and like each hiking trails, some ends up to this beautiful mountain view, and
It's definitely
like
more beautiful than just buildings here. And Minnesota's a pretty flat place
yeah.
comparatively.
Yep.
And we probably have maybe no mountains taller than any mountain in Nepal.
Yes.
But yeah, okay, so you got like the social norms. Is there like any taboos that you're not supposed to do? Like maybe spitting is something that you're not supposed to do, or not supposed to yell at people, or how close do people talk to each other? What's the personal space, personal bubble? Like, for instance, Minnesotans, we like to have a
Personal space.
yeah, we like
Yep.
our personal bubbles, and we find it very uncomfortable when people are.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's the case there. I think I haven't really noticed it actually, but yeah, I think, no, people are pretty close when they talk, but other than that, one thing that reminds me is like respect towards your elders. You can't take their first name. So that is why
Okay.
we say bye and uncle and babus and stuff. So I think that's one of
That's the first word I learned in
Yeah.
Nepalese is babu.
yeah. So yeah. So you can't take first name of the person who is elder than you. Loving the youngsters. What are the other taboos that's accepted here but not there?
Anything.
Anything. okay.
Anything.
Like living together before marriage is not at all acceptable there, which is acceptable here. And there are like little superstitious, I think this is, like you can't touch books or bags with your feet. And if they do that, they'll just do something like this, which is like praying, because there is a
Yeah.
belief that books and bags hold God
Yep.
in them, so, and they don't want to disrespect God by kicking on it, so you might notice that. And cats are not celebrated
Cats.
that much in Nepal as it is celebrated here. Like if a black cat cuts your way, it's considered bad luck. So those are mostly superstitious, I believe, but taboos would be women in periods can't go to kitchen.
Oh,
or temples.
that's good for if that was a good rule for ladies here. If I'm on my period, so the guy has to cook the dinner for a week.
Yeah, if you take it that way, yeah. But yeah, especially in the villages, people are forced to sleep outside, and yeah, there are a lot of social injustice that happens when following those values.
In town, do you have any like community events? Like here, there's a massive fireworks show on 4th of July. I was wondering if you have holidays and events that happen there.
So when I was there, I was pretty young, so I did not go to events if there were any. But I think they have these concerts, especially during Holi, which is a festival of colors where you put colors in each other's face and you make water balloons and throw at each other. So during those festivals, I know we have big concerts. Then festival is Dashe and Tihar is a really two big festivals in Nepal. So do you know about Dashe?
I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, it's a celebration of win of evil over win of what is it a celebration of? I forgot. It is a celebration of,
we'll look it up and we'll figure that.
Yeah, it's a celebration of good over evil. It's celebrated for 15 days.
Okay. 15 days.
Yeah, flying kites during the festival, playing cards is a pretty big thing there. And then you put tika on each other, which is made out of rice grain, the red color. Food, delicious food is lot of muttons are cooked during those festivals. So, yeah.
So I'm gonna move on from living in Nepal to deciding to move to the U.S. And you say you were younger, so that's something new that I didn't know. But what was like the pressures to move from Nepal to the U.S. and what kind of made maybe your decision or was it like a group family decision?
It was definitely my decision because I wanted to pursue my education here. Oh God, how do I say this? Okay. It was definitely my decision to move here, but yeah, there was a lot of pressure especially from their relatives, to not. I want to phrase it nicely. Yes, there were different pressures that the community felt. Can we do it again? Can you ask again so that I?
Well, every time we do this, I have to recut and recut and recut, and from the beginning, I have to like be aware of what I say, because like I've said, oh, we're here in Minneapolis, and I might say that again and again and again. Okay. But just be aware of that. More we cut, the more I have to do this, but that's fine. The question was, so I was wondering, so moving on, we have all your young events and activities and holidays that you were a part of in Nepal and with your friends and family, but I'm going to transition from moving from Nepal to the U.S. And I was wondering what were kind of the pressures, whether from you to decide or maybe a family decision.
Yeah, I wanted to come here for my higher education after my high school. There were a lot of pressure, like especially being a woman, it's a patriarchal society, so there were a lot of misconceptions like Americans just drink and smoke and work all the time, or some of the...
and you can see not one person was smoking in this shot walking across this bridge.
So yeah, but there is so some of the Nepalese people have that conception about America. I think the video can break that, but
I think more people smoke e-cigarettes than cigarettes nowadays.
Yeah.
But
that's a whole different thing. But so basically, they also thought like once I moved to United States, I'll not complete my education. That was a big fear because education is a big thing in Nepal, especially being the third world country. It's really important that all the population is educated. So the education is a really big thing, and my family were very concerned that I would not finish my education focus my time on working and stuff like that. But yeah, those were the challenges that I had to overcome. A lot of emotional blackmailing, a lot of convincing had to happen.
Okay. So it's not, for me, it's not really that cold. My fingers are probably
Yeah.
cold, but why in the hell did you choose Minnesota? It's cold, and you picked a northern university to go to your
Yeah.
education.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you choose Minnesota over, or St. Cloud State University school that we actually went to? But
Yeah, it was. I didn't know a lot about. I did some research, and I found St. Cloud to be very economical because $1 is 100 rupees, and coming here, I knew I had to ask my parents for the money. So I just wanted it to be economical for me to start. So that is why I selected St. Cloud State, and also. I was really impressed that they had the diverse group of people. It's famous for the international students to come
I was
over.
just going to ask. There's a lot of Nepalese in St. Cloud, and that is like maybe one
Okay,
reason,
no.
or is that something you didn't know and you're just like,
No,
St.
no.
Cloud has a lot of.
Yeah, no, I did not know any Nepali people before coming here. But when I came here and I looked
Don't
at
worry,
the population,
we got you. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I wasn't aware about the Nepali population in St. Cloud State, but yeah, once I got there, I got to figure that out.
So we were just at a crossing point that was kind of getting a little stumbly for our film camera action taker, Anil, innovative Anil. Bloop. But we were talking about St. Cloud and how it's, move this way a little bit, Babu. I got you. We were talking a little bit about St. Cloud and how diverse it was, and I think their phrase was power and diversity.
Yes.
And I was impressed at how many people from China were there, people from Nepal was from there, and there was a few people from Europe and a few people all over the place.
Yeah.
Mexico, but
Malaysia.
that was definitely something that I appreciated going through school, and kind of being comfortable interacting with people from other countries and learning. And I think Nepal and other countries interesting. That's why we're probably having this interview. Is
Yeah.
I find other cultures so interesting. So we were kind of segued from you living in Nepal to St. Cloud, and maybe you have a couple more items to talk about why you chose St. Cloud.
I really liked the diverse community in St. Cloud. It made me feel like if I go to the university where there are people coming from different countries, I'll not be the only one going there. So I'll feel more at home and more relatable. So that was the first instinct. And there were a lot of other factors too. And like the education system is really good. Less distraction because it's a small town, so you don't have a lot of bars or malls.
Well,
really.
there's a lot of bars, but I think it's St. Cloud is a little bubble, and if you go out, you'll find some fun. But most of my time was on campus.
Yeah.
Everything a college student really needed was on campus, and they had a really good learning environment.
Yeah.
We're not paid for by St. Cloud, but that'd be funny if we were. So you heard about St. Cloud, SCSU online. Was it through like a list of schools from the U.S., or do you remember?
Yes. There was a consultancy that was helping me to select the school in Nepal, and that's when they gave me multiple options, and St. Cloud State really stood out for me.
So what did you think of St. Cloud, Minnesota, the U.S.? The viewers want to know, I'm guessing, of my few No, one viewer right there.
Ooh, it's really hard to put it in to explain my experience in this short video, but if I have to say, I feel like Minnesota in general is really known for Minnesota nice culture. So I've been very fortunate to meet some of the most amazing people and learn from them, and my overall experience in US, touchwood, has been very good. I feel like Americans don't get enough credit for their kindness and their acceptance. I know.
Is that as in Americans in general or just Minnesota?
I'll have to live on different cities to experience that, because what I see on news doesn't justify my statement, so it might just be Minnesota.
Well, whatever you see on the news is not what America is like.
Yeah.
Everything on the American media, well, not everything, but there's a lot of media that is really charged and very hateful, you could say too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do bring a nice point and make me feel better about myself as an American. So, St. Cloud State University. Who do you recommend someone to go to school there for? Someone like you from Nepal, international student, someone from the cities, Minneapolis here, or another state?
Sure. I would recommend anyone who wants to graduate with less student loans to consider this university, and also anyone who really wants to get done with the education. Like, come here, spend your 4 years, because going to school is a commitment. You need a lot of patience, hard work, consistency to actually go through those years in school. So why not do in some culture where people are very motivating, where people are nice, and and there are different cultural nights that happen, so you get this opportunity to be in this small town but still learn from the countries all around the world. So anyone who is very open-minded, who is global thinker, and who wants to graduate with less student loans.
Cool.
Do you fit on those categories?
Do I? Oh yeah, I was, when I was applying to universities and colleges, I lived in Bloomington, and they had a college called Normandale, and I thought that was too small, not something that you would want to put on your resume. But it is a really good college. But I saw St. Cloud State as a good contender, and I applied to Mankato. But the U of M I didn't apply to because the application fee was too expensive.
Yeah.
It was like double. I was like, nope. And then looking at the tuition, it was like way more expensive.
Yeah.
So what was your major and why did you choose it?
I initially came from, when I first joined St. Cloud, I joined as a biotech, and like any freshman, I didn't knew what I wanted to pursue. I knew I wanted to do something with biology and technology, so which is why I selected biotechnology. But soon after a few bio classes, I decided to change my major to just be technology, and I focused on computer science, and that's how I selected my major.
Well, we just stepped in some water, so let's move over here and continue on.
Okay.
All right. So just focus on technology. Now, I'm sure a lot of people know the techies is a good place to go to, and I've tried to champion saying there's so many jobs out there in that field, and I think you picked a good expertise area. So during your tenure at St. Cloud, what did you do outside of classes?
I had a really cool job. How do I start, Anil? How do I make it sound good? Besides from school, I was working.
Working?
Yeah, I worked on HuskyTech, which is the IT help desk of school, I used to work as a PCA, peer career advisor, and help students with their resume and cover letters. I was also part of different organizations.
Did you have any jobs outside of school?
If you come to United States as an international student, you are only allowed to work for certain hours on school. You can't work off campus. So yeah, that does make it difficult.
Difficult.
Yeah. And if you want to work outside, it has to be something that's related to your major.
So like if you do an internship, you can't just do an internship of
at a
going,
marketing firm or something. It has to be something related to my major. I know, how is our conversation? Okay, good.
So you have a lot of these roadblocks, and St. Cloud is a predominantly white school, but right now there's that's changing more and more, but it's predominantly white. And how was it difficult to integrate with the student population outside of maybe the international bubbles?
Here's the thing, I think there is this communication gap, and the imagery hold of each other that stops people from interacting. So, but once you get to know the people and once you interact, it becomes easy. So I personally did not have any difficulty talking to anyone, and especially most of my interaction would be through schools, or if I was selling some tickets through my organizations and stuff, so I needed to interact. But people are really nice and they're easy to talk to, friendly. So initially the conversation can be awkward, like the first interaction, because no one knows how to approach. And like they might think like you might offend them, you might say something wrong, and you would feel the same. You don't know. You would feel the same, but once you communicate and interact, you'll end up making videos together like this.
Did you have a kind of a moment or feeling that you get to create your own identity, start fresh? So whatever you did in high school, that was all forgotten, a clean slate.
Absolutely, and especially because what do I say, Anil?
You want it.
Absolutely, because when you say high school, we didn't even have high school. We used to call it college.
College. Okay.
Yeah, so it was a whole new adjustment here, so people wouldn't even understand if I would say college. Yeah, I think I moved here when I was 18, and I used to live with my family, so coming here and living alone was a whole new adventure for me. All of a sudden, I had to worry about my rent bills and electricity bills and all kind of bills that I had never had to worry about. So there was a lot of learning experience. There was a lot of learning experience. There was a lot of self-exploration. Yeah, it was definitely a clean slate, because whatever I had in Nepal did not come here with me, even.
So we were talking about working in St. Cloud as a HuskyTech, a humble beginning, and we're going to move and transfer kind of your progression to becoming a software consultant. So what were the early experiences and feelings of moving to more of a more professional role? What was your first role after college?
I did my internship on my junior year, which was really difficult to find because I did not have any professional contact outside of the school. So just to make that breakthrough was really difficult. I was applying to a lot of jobs. Most of my experience were what I was learning in school. So to put that on my resume and to sell myself in the professional world was really challenging. I would apply for multiple jobs and then come back with multiple rejection. You wake up to multiple rejection emails every day.
So rejection is a part of everyone's career, and I've been rejected hundreds of times.
Yes.
And so if you're out there trying to apply to a job, everyone has rejection, and it's just about learning from those rejections and improving oneself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So was there any other big challenges getting your internship?
I was on my student visa at that time, so most companies wouldn't want to hire you, even though if you are qualified for the job. They don't want to go through the extra hurdle of sponsoring and doing extra paperwork when they could easily find someone from America with less paperwork and they don't have to do anything. So
this is where you put, are you a U.S. citizen or a...
No,
or
let's not talk about that. Let's keep it personal.
So that's the challenge, that you have to put yourself.
Yes.
It's not easy.
Yes.
For Americans, it's like easy mode.
Yes.
For you, it's like 2 times more difficult.
It's like one extra hurdle to go through.
Yep. And a lot of like the places that I could apply for, you couldn't apply for, so that even limited your possibilities as well.
Yep. He's a good answer. He's asking better questions. He's giving better answers.
No, I'm just saying it's really something that I feel bad that people who come to the U.S., I mean, you're a good person. I think a lot of people who do come to the U.S. are very good people. But the government just treats them poorly. What's that? Your fidget spinner? So, is there any advice that you would give to someone applying for a job?
I would say don't give up is the number one. Believe in yourself. Format your resume in a way it matches with the job requirements, which is really key. You don't spend time like randomly applying for a job. Study the job requirements and then try to match those requirements on your resume before submitting it.
If you had like multiple skill sets or applying to different jobs, should you have multiple resumes, you're saying?
Yes. I think, yeah.
Yeah, all right, we'll cut that and then we'll move on to the next question.
Okay.
And the next question is about software. All right, we just walked past a bunch of puddles and a little stumbling there, but we're back and we're talking about software development, and many people think software is this hard idea, and I'm wondering, do you think software is that difficult to learn and pick up?
Okay, anything that you first start to learn is difficult, but it's learnable. It really depends on your mindset. From music to dance to software, it's same. It's like learning new language. You have to put in some effort, but once you're consistent with your effort, it's not rocket science. You will get it. So it's not hard as people think it is.
But it is hard initially, but once you get in the hang of it.
Yes, and once you get comfortable with 1 or 2 programming languages, you kind of get the hang of how to catch up with all the others. So it just becomes easier and easier.
Like, I think it's really hard, but I've had friends who just spend a year learning it, and they get a full-time job. Not even starting with an internship, just full-time job.
Yeah.
That's kind of humbling within the industry.
Yes, and with the job opportunities and invention that's growing, there is a lot of, with the invention that's growing, there is a lot of job opportunities in the market. So yeah, if you really put some time to learn coding, you have a great career ahead of you.
I was wondering, since you're a woman, and I work with mostly men in the computing environments, and what is that from a woman's perspective, and for women in computing?
Yeah, I think that's something I'm very passionate about and something that I would like to see change in the future. When I was going in school, there was handful of women in my classroom.
Yep, I can confirm. By handful, I mean like maybe
Two or three?
Yeah.
Yes. So, and one of the things that really scares me is with the kind of invention that's happening with machine learning, all our AI is going to be trained by a man. So it's just going to be one mentality. So now more than ever, we need more women. We need more diverse people. We need more diverse people from different backgrounds to give their input so that we can create a machine that is more diverse rather than just one mindset. And currently
it'll
it's
have
like
more of a sexist mindset of just a men's mentality versus a woman's touch.
mentality.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And also, it's like a boys' club, and you don't want to do that.
You think so?
Well,
Well, I think men in computer are kind of sexy.
yeah, all I want to say is we need more women in technology. I feel like women, they tend to give up too easily. So when they are, it's gonna be hard when you start, but if you have that growth mindset to be like, I'll teach myself and I will learn this, and to have that never giving up mentality, you'll get over this. So initial hurdle can be hard, but I just want to encourage more women and young girls to not give up, to be interested in technology.
All right, so we're gonna kind of heading towards the end of this video, and I appreciate you being here. I appreciate our filmer here helping make this excellent video. But I was, maybe end this up of like, what are your future plans, your future aspirations? Maybe just doing hobbies. Maybe it's just continuing to work hard and doing your best.
Yes, I think my goal for right now is just to pursue for excellence in whatever I do, and especially with technology. I am especially with technology, like with the cloud computing, machine learning, AI, I have been working on different projects. So just being the best I can be in whatever project I do, and
just do your best.
do my best. Hopefully inspire more young women to be on the technology field.
Do you have any references for anyone to look at that you might think that they would be interested in?
Mayuko, she's a YouTuber.
Okay.
Tech Lead.
Yes.
He has a very interesting opinions too, and I really enjoy his videos. Yeah.
What about yourself? Could you reiterate what your social medias are?
Sure. My Instagram handle is priyanka.lc, and you can also catch me on LinkedIn at Priyanka Dahal.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You can also catch me on LinkedIn at Priyanka Dahal.
What about you, Anil? Innovative Anil?
Explorer.
Huh?
Explorer.
Explorer. Innovative Explorer. Yeah.
For our videographer, do check him
One
out.
key in between.
Okay. But yeah, it turned out to be a pretty good day in Minneapolis. Everyone is enjoying themselves, and thank you again. And
Thank you for having me. I had great fun chatting with you and sharing
I
a little
look
bit.
forward to the next time or future times, and hopefully this video will turn out great.
Yeah.
Or who knows? All right.
Adios.
Bye-bye.